Never, ever return a lost cell phone. It might just end your life. Imagine being an honest delivery guy who does one good deed only to be framed for a brutal murder the very next day. This isn't just bad luck, it's a sick game played by the rich, and Tae-yong is their newest victim. He's about to enter a living hell that will either break him completely or turn him into the most dangerous man in prison. You won't believe how this ends.
Meet Tae-yong. He's just a regular guy doing his normal routine. He's kind-hearted, always willing to help others even when they're rude to him. He truly believes in justice and doing good. He lives with his younger brother, a kid working super hard to get into college. In the evenings, he tends to his greenhouse with help from his tight-knit group of friends and his girlfriend Suji, who loves him deeply. The next morning, he goes through his usual routine, makes breakfast, takes out the trash, and heads for work. During his first delivery, the elevator breaks, so he takes the stairs, getting distracted briefly by a withered plant because he's so passionate about gardening. Later, even though he's rushing, he kindly stops to help an old lady carry a heavy suitcase up some steps. That night, while grabbing a quick bite, he hears a phone ringing behind him. He answers it, and the person on the other line asks him to bring the phone to a tunnel to return it. Tae-yong is a little hesitant but agrees, leaving the phone at the designated spot. Feeling good about doing the right thing, he leaves happily with the tip they left him. The next day, he sets up a small memorial for his late mother, sharing a sweet moment with his brother. But that afternoon, it starts pouring rain, so Tae-yong rushes to cover his plants. Suddenly, police aggressively storm his house, handcuff him, and drag him away without any explanation. When they arrive at the station, it's total chaos, packed with reporters. The news is blowing up all over the city. They're accusing Tae-yong of brutal murder. The arrest is broadcast on TV, shocking everyone. Tae-yong completely denies knowing the woman, demanding they release him through his confusion and anger. Soon after, the forensics team comes in to take samples, while he just watches, totally helpless. Hours later, his friends visit and tell him how serious this is. It's chaos outside. The news has completely destroyed his reputation, painting him as a monster. They tell him to stay strong, but those words just make him realize the terrifying magnitude of the problem. Meanwhile, the news deeply affects his girlfriend Suji, forcing her to close the shop they ran together. She and his brother hire a lawyer to start his defense. Days later, Suji visits Tae-yong. She just wants to hear one thing, that he's innocent. With tears in his eyes, he swears to her that he would never do something like that. The next day, Suji and the friends meet the lawyer, who tells them to gather every shred of evidence about his movements that day. They immediately start collecting evidence, delivery routes, CCTV footage, testimonies from customers. The whole neighborhood pitches in to help the guy who was always so kind to them.
When the lawyer sees all the material, he's impressed by the effort and says there's hope. This evidence could prove Tae-yong is innocent. His daily routine was so strict and exhausting he barely had time to eat, let alone commit a crime. Finally, the day of the trial arrives. The defense lawyer presents everything, and at first it looks like Tae-yong's name will be cleared. But when the prosecutor steps up, everything changes. He starts poking holes in their story. First, inconsistency. A delivery that usually took 3 minutes took 7. Tae-yong explains he stopped to leave a note by that dying plant. Then, the prosecutor shows footage of him carrying that heavy suitcase. Tae-yong says he was just helping an old lady. But the prosecutor reveals that same suitcase was found next to the victim's body. The third piece of evidence is even worse. Cameras show Tae-yong holding the victim's phone. He explains he was just returning it, but the prosecutor drops the hammer. The body was found just yards from that spot.
Finally, they present the most devastating proof. Forensics found bodily fluids inside the victim, and DNA analysis confirms they belong to Tae-yong. On top of that, a bracelet identical to the couple's bracelet he shares with Suji was found at the crime scene, making him look even more guilty. Paralyzed with shock, Tae-yong denies everything through tears, begging for justice and insisting he's being framed. Later, Suji visits again, but this time she's broken. She tells him his lawyer has quit. Desperate, she asks to see his wrist to check if he's still wearing their bracelet. He slowly lifts his arm, but the bracelet is gone. That detail destroys her. Even though she knows deep down he couldn't commit such a heinous crime, doubt starts creeping into her heart. She begs him to just accept the charges and show remorse to get a reduced sentence. Tae-yong is moved to a brutal prison where life becomes unbearable.
시간을 가져보세요. 입고 있는 그 옷들을 다시 입는 날 바랍니다.
One day, a new lawyer visits, saying he's interested in the case because he noticed irregularities in the accuser's statements. This gives him a little spark of hope. However, soon after, a group of inmates starts hassling him. Fearful, he tries to ignore them. Some of these guys think they run the place. During lunch, two men approach him acting friendly, promising to protect him, but it's a trap. They take him to an isolated spot and brutally violate him. Days later, the lawyer returns with devastating news. His brother has taken his own life. Shattered, remembering the good times with his brother, Tae-yong tries to end it all. It's his third attempt that month, so they have to keep him restrained. Meanwhile, outside, his friends haven't been able to visit for a year. Inside, he meets an inmate who serves as an altar boy at Mass. He shares his own experience, reminding Tae-yong that despite everything, they have to survive.
Those words make Tae-yong break down, but after that talk, he decides to push forward. Tired of the abuse, he starts training physically and mentally. Over time, he also strengthens his spirit thanks to a Bible the altar boy gave him. 5 years later, he's managed to grow a small garden in prison. Even some guards ask him for help with their plants.
당신이 생각하는 것보다 훨씬 무서운 놈이에요. 시간과 맞서 싸우려 들면 안 돼요.
His friendship with the altar boy deepens. One day, the altar boy gives Tae-yong his bracelet and a slice of cake as a goodbye gift, since it's finally his time to be released. Months later, Tae-yong, now an altar boy himself, meets a new inmate. He invites him to the confessional, offering comfort and a Bible, but the young man, in tears, says he's innocent. His only mistake was returning a cell phone. Hearing this, Tae-yong freezes. It's exactly what happened to him. The kid says the evidence was planted, and a public defender approached him, the same lawyer who defended Tae-yong. The kid also reveals the lawyer told him his mother supposedly committed suicide, though he's sure she never would. Tae-yong realizes this lawyer is a liar. That night, he can barely sleep, tormented by the coincidence. By dawn, the new inmate has committed suicide. Tae-yong demands to see the lawyer and confronts him, saying he knows the truth. The lawyer drops the act, showing his true colors. Tae-yong finally understands his brother didn't kill himself. He was murdered by this corrupt lawyer. Later, Tae-yong returns the Bible to the priest. The look in his eyes shows he's done praying. Now he plans revenge. Meanwhile, at a luxurious secret auction for the powerful elite, we meet the real villain, Johan. He's a brilliant strategist who designs perfect crimes for rich clients without getting his own hands dirty. The recent crime by the president's son was covered up by Johan's plan. Frame an innocent guy who ends up dying in prison, clearing the real culprit's name.
Back in prison, Tae-yong won't take any more abuse. He stands up to his aggressors, warning them to back off, which really ticks off the prison bully Joe Book.
친구간에 일마 뱅수맹기로
Outside, the altar boy worries that Tae-yong returned his Bible and might try to end his life again, but Tae-yong assures him he doesn't plan to die. He plans to prove his innocence. He starts precisely planning an escape, watching guard schedules and camera blind spots. He even tricks Joe Book into attacking him so the bully gets thrown into solitary, clearing his path. Tae-yong gets to work. He makes key molds using floral foam, and when a doctor arrives with a special vaccine just for him, he knows something is up.
He volunteers to fix a guard's vehicle to get alone time to cut the keys. He's forced into a fight club match, knocking his opponent out in seconds just to rush back to his cell. With 30 minutes left, he cuts the power, uses his copied keys to get civilian clothes, and crawls into the ventilation shafts. He starts feeling dizzy from whatever the doctor injected him with, but he keeps going. His friend, the former altar boy, is waiting outside but has to leave to avoid suspicion from a nearby officer. Tae-yong manages to blend in with civilians inside the prison, but his body is failing him. He barely creates a distraction and makes it out the main gate, only to collapse unconscious right there. Johan, meanwhile, is bored at a luxury car race and decides to start his own twisted game. He goes to the prison with the mayor, bribes the warden with gold bars, and orders him to select specific inmates for a special work program. Tae-yong wakes up back in the prison infirmary. It was rat poison, but they saved him. He's back in lockup, but now he's a legend among the inmates for his escape attempt. Jo Book tries to kill him during a riot, but Tae-yong fights back.
벌써 힘든 거 없잖아. 에?
Cutting off his ear as a warning. Later, Tae-yong is one of the 12 inmates selected for Johan's mysterious project. They're taken to a massive isolated complex similar to Squid Game, where Johan welcomes them with a chilling smile. "Welcome. You won't be serving your sentences here."